Welcome, welcome, welcome back to It Sucks to Be You, the only podcast brave enough to chronicle humanity's most glorious faceplant moments. I'm Alex, your tour guide through the Museum of Magnificent Morons.
And I'm Ben, here to provide witty commentary on Darwin's greatest hits, where natural selection works faster than a Black Friday stampede and twice as deadly.
Before we dive into today's spectacular showcase of stupidity, we need to give credit where credit is due. Today's stories come from an absolutely brilliant article by Jacob Wilkins on Medium, titled 5 Idiotic Men Who Were Killed by Their Own Foolishness. Jacob, wherever you are, thank you for documenting these Darwin Award winners.
Jacob did the research so we could do the roasting. It's like a scientific collaboration, but with more pointing and laughing.
Today, Ben, we're diving headfirst into the shallow end of the gene pool, celebrating those special individuals whose confidence was only matched by their complete disconnection from reality.
Ah yes, the hold my beer and watch this Hall of Fame, where overestimating your abilities becomes a self-correcting problem for the entire species.
These aren't just stories about bad luck, folks. These are masterclasses in how not to navigate basic existence. It's like they looked at the laws of physics and said, I bet I can negotiate with those.
Because apparently, some people believe gravity is more of a strong suggestion than a fundamental force. Spoiler alert, gravity doesn't take requests.
We're not here to teach lessons or provide safety tips. We're here to point and laugh at the spectacular train wrecks that prove evolution is still hard at work.
Consider it a public service for those of us who appreciate the sheer artistry of confident incorrectness meeting immovable reality.
So buckle up, buttercups. Our first contestant thought his celebrity status was basically a superpower. Meet Luciano Recchiaconi, the Italian footballer who confused fame with invincibility.
A classic case of I'm famous, therefore physics doesn't apply to me, combined with the comedic timing of a brick through a window.
Picture this. Rome, 1977. Luciano is living the dream, playing for Lazio, probably signing autographs with his feet. Life is good, but then he gets an idea. And as we all know, ideas and football players don't always mix well.
Oh no. When athletes get creative, it usually ends with either a viral video or a funeral. Sometimes both.
January 18th, 1977. Luciano and his buddies decide to pull a hilarious prank. And by hilarious, I mean the kind of prank that makes you question if this man has ever interacted with humans outside of a football stadium.
I can already smell the profound lack of situational awareness. This is going to be like watching a train wreck in slow motion, isn't it?
They burst into a jewelry store. Not a friend's house, not a costume party, a jewelry store. And Luciano screams, "Give me everything. This is a robbery."
Wait. He yelled, "This is a robbery in a jewelry store?" Not, "Hey, it's me, famous footballer," not, "Just kidding." He went straight to, "This is a robbery."
Yes, because apparently his master plan was step 1, threaten robbery. Step 2, wait for recognition. Step 3, everybody laughs. There was no step 4 because he didn't live long enough to think of one.
That's not a prank. That's suicide with extra steps. It's like playing Russian roulette with a cannon.
But here's where it gets deliciously ironic. This jewelry store owner, he'd been robbed twice recently. Twice! The universe was practically writing this as a cautionary tale.
Oh, you've got to be kidding me. So this guy walks into a trauma victim's store and reenacts his worst nightmare? That's not comedy. That's psychological warfare.
The jeweler, not recognizing Mr. I'm so famous everyone knows me, and having actual PTSD from real robberies, pulls out a pistol and bang!
And Luciano's career came to a very sudden, very permanent end. His final performance, a one-man show titled How to Die from Your Own Joke.
The jeweler was arrested but acquitted on grounds of self-defense. Because shockingly, when someone screams, "This is a robbery" at you, the legal system considers that a reasonable threat.
His celebrity status turned out to be completely irrelevant when faced with basic human survival instincts. Fame doesn't stop bullets, folks.
The confidence, the sheer weapons-grade arrogance to think everyone would just get his hilarious robbery cosplay. It's like he thought fame came with diplomatic immunity.
He literally played the most dangerous game of "it's just a prank, bro" in history, except the punchline was delivered by a .38 caliber.
Moving on to our next magnificent moron. This one is so stupid it's almost artistic. Meet Ivan McGuire, the skydiving instructor who forgot the one thing that separates skydiving from just diving.
Oh, this sounds promising. Professional skydiver forgets something crucial.
Ivan was a great skydiver, instructor level. He taught people the fine art of falling through the air and not becoming a human pancake. He was the Mozart of not dying from great heights.
So presumably he understood the fundamental requirements of successful skydiving. You know, the basic equipment checklist that prevents you from experiencing gravity at its most educational.
Part of Ivan's job was filming students during their descents, capturing their performance for later review. You know, making sure they didn't forget anything important.
Irony alert. Irony alert. He was literally the safety guy, the human equivalent of a please remember to sign.
April 2nd, 1988, Franklin County Sports Parachute Center, North Carolina. Ivan's 10,000 feet up, camera ready, students prepared. Perfect day for jumping. Everything's going according to plan.
I'm getting a very bad feeling about this. When you say everything's going according to plan with that tone, someone's about to become a crater.
Ivan jumps out of the plane, camera rolling, capturing beautiful footage of his students gracefully descending, while he plummets like a very aerodynamic brick.
Wait, what? Why is he... Oh no? Oh no? Please tell me he didn't forget.
His parachute. The man whose job it was to teach parachute safety forgot his parachute.
He forgot the only piece of equipment that matters in skydiving? That's not a mistake. That's a complete system failure. It's like forgetting your head.
He was so focused on his videotaping duties, so absorbed in capturing the perfect shot, that he skipped the minor detail of personal survival equipment.
The man turned himself into an unguided missile.
The confidence to jump out of a plane thinking, I've got this, only to realize midair that you've got nothing except gravity and regret.
I imagine his final thought was probably, this feels different than usual. Followed immediately by, oh, right, physics.
Ivan McGuire, the only skydiving instructor to give his students a live demonstration of what not to do. Talk about hands-on learning.
His last lesson plan was titled, Why Equipment Checks Matter, a Practical Demonstration. Very thorough teaching method.
For our third exhibit in the What Were They Thinking Museum, we have bearsA, the DIY daredevil who thought professional bungee jumping was for amateurs.
Oh, the DIY crowd. Because why trust professionals with decades of experience when you can trust yourself with a trip to Home Depot and a YouTube video?
Eric was a 22-year-old food worker with dreams of adventure. On July 12, 1997, he decided he wanted to try bungee jumping, but Eric was special. He was going to build his own bungee setup.
Because nothing says I understand complex physics like working in food service. This is going to be like watching someone build a rocket out of kitchen utensils.
Why pay professionals with their fancy safety standards and engineering degrees when you can just grab some bungee cords from the hardware store? The small ones, the kinds you use to tie down groceries?
Wait, he used luggage straps for bungee jumping? That's like using dental floss for mountain climbing. Those things are designed to hold down a bicycle, not a human being.
Eric took several small bungee cords, the kind that struggle to hold a tarp in place, and fashioned his own professional-grade bungee system. MacGyver would have wept.
This is like building a parachute out of napkins. The confidence to think I can engineer this better than people who do it for a living is absolutely staggering.
He climbs up to a 70-foot bridge in Fairfax County, Virginia. 70 feet. That's a serious drop. And he's calculated everything perfectly, or so he thinks.
Oh no, he calculated it? Math was involved? This is going to be like watching someone divide by zero in real life.
Eric measured the distance from bridge to water, 70 feet. Length of his homemade cord, 70 feet. Perfect. Except for one tiny detail that apparently escaped his brilliant engineering mind.
Please tell me he didn't forget that bungee cords stretch? That's literally their primary function. It's in the name.
Bingo, Eric forgot that bungee cords are elastic, stretchy. The thing that makes them bungee instead of just rope.
So he essentially created a very efficient way to accelerate himself toward the Earth. He turned physics into his personal enemy.
Eric's last thought was probably, this is going great, followed immediately by, why am I still falling? Followed by, oh, that's why.
He invented the world's most expensive way to learn about elasticity. One lesson, lifetime guarantee, because you won't need another one.
Instant death as he hit the water at full speed. Eric turned bungee jumping into just jumping. Revolutionary. Also fatal.
Eric Barsha, the man who proved that confidence without competence is just expensive suicide. A real pioneer in the field of DIY disasters.
Our fourth tale takes us into the wilderness with Timothy Treadwell, the man who thought grizzly bears were just big, misunderstood teddy bears.
Oh, the grizzly man. This is a classic. The ultimate example of I'm special, therefore nature's rules don't apply to me.
Timothy genuinely believed that 800-pound killing machines with claws like kitchen knives were gentle, peaceful creatures, despite, all of science saying otherwise.
Because if you believe hard enough, apex predators will obviously want to braid your hair and share salmon recipes. It's like thinking sharks are just aquatic puppies.
For years, Timothy made annual trips to Alaska's Katmai National Park, living among grizzly bears, and he gave them names: Mr. Chocolate, Mrs. Good Bear, Boodles.
He named them like Disney characters. Boodles? That's not a grizzly bear, that's a stuffed animal. He was living in a real-life version of Winnie the Pooh, except Pooh doesn't actually maul people.
Park rangers kept warning him, "Timothy, these are wild animals. They will eat you." But Timothy knew better. He had a special connection.
A special connection, like the connection between a hamburger and someone's stomach. Very special. Very brief?
October 5th, 2003. Timothy and his girlfriend are having their final camping trip, and by final, I mean final, forever final.
Let me guess. Mr. Chocolate decided he was hungry and Timothy looked delicious? Turns out bears don't distinguish between friend and food.
A bear, possibly one of his friends, attacked and killed both Timothy and his girlfriend. They were partially eaten. The bear literally treated Timothy like a happy meal.
The bear probably thought, finally, room service. Timothy spent years training a bear to see humans as convenient snacks.
His unwavering belief in his own Disney princess powers met the harsh reality of actual nature. Turns out, bears don't care about your feelings.
Timothy Treadwell, the man who proved that anthropomorphizing predators is a form of assisted suicide. He basically delivered himself with a side of girlfriend.
He thought he was Snow White. He was actually the main course. The bear didn't even leave a tip.
Natural selection working exactly as intended. The bear got a meal, and the gene pool got a little cleaner. Win-win for everyone except Timothy.
Finally, our last contestant in the Darwin Olympics, Phil Valentine, the radio host who thought he was smarter than every doctor on Earth.
Ah, the modern classic. When the internet meets overconfidence and produces spectacular results, this is like watching someone argue with a calculator.
Phil was a radio presenter during the global sniffles of 2020-2021. That time when everyone suddenly became an epidemiologist by watching YouTube videos.
The era when Google searches were considered equivalent to medical degrees. When I did my own research meant I found 3 Facebook posts that agreed with me.
Phil was very vocal about his skepticism regarding vaccines. He even wrote a song called Vax Man, a song, because nothing says medical expertise like bad karaoke.
He wrote a song mocking the very thing that could have saved his life. It's like writing a song called Parachutes Are Stupid while falling out of a plane.
Phil actively refused vaccination, despite the advice of literally every medical professional on Earth. Because what do they know? They only went to medical school.
Why trust people who studied for decades when you can trust your gut feeling and whatever Karen from Facebook posted? Much more reliable sources.
August 21st, 2021, Phil Valentine, age 61, having contracted the very disease he mocked, dies. The virus apparently didn't appreciate his comedy routine.
He literally died from the thing he wrote a song about preventing. The irony is so thick you could cut it with a scalpel, which ironically, he didn't trust either.
Phil proved that viruses don't care about your political opinions, your radio show, or your catchy jingles. They're equal opportunity destroyers.
His final performance was titled How to Die from Your Own Punchline. Very avant-garde, also very permanent.
Phil Valentine, the man who treated medical science like a suggestion box and found out that viruses don't take requests.
And there you have it, folks. 5 magnificent examples of what happens when extreme confidence meets basic reality. It's like watching the Three Stooges, but with permanent consequences.
These men prove that natural selection is still hard at work, efficiently removing people who think they're smarter than physics, biology, and basic common sense.
The universe operates on very simple principles. Gravity works. Wild animals are wild. Viruses don't negotiate. And fame doesn't stop bullets.
Remember, folks, the next time you think you're special enough to ignore basic safety, just remember Luciano, Ivan, Eric, Timothy, and Phil. They all thought they were special too.
Sometimes the most important form of natural selection is simply not being monumentally stupid. It's a low bar, but apparently some people still trip over it.
Thank you for joining us on It Sucks to Be You. If you enjoyed our celebration of spectacular failures, smash that follow button. Give us 5 stars. Tell your friends who love a good catastrophe.
Because if you don't, you might end up as our next subject. The universe is always looking for fresh material.
Until next time, I'm Alex, reminding you that confidence without competence is just expensive natural selection.
And I'm Ben, reminding you that when you're supremely confident and profoundly wrong, it really sucks to be you.
This episode was powered by voxcrea.ai.